Hey guys, this is Steve with LRM. Today we're going to talk about transmission and driveline care. What do you mean by that is like if you see oil hitting the ground and it's in the transmission area, that's when you want to care about it. Because what we don't want is the transmission to overheat and you guys have to replace the transmission, especially on an automatic. Automatic can run anywhere between $12,000 to $15,000, as well as maybe you have a manual and you'll burn up all the gears and you're going to spend anywhere between $5,000 to $9,000. It's a headache that you guys don't want and something easy to catch. So when it comes to transmission, the output shaft is usually the notorious leak, right? So what you want to do is make sure it's not leaking. That also the yoke is nice and tight. We did one on the driveline. You know you're going to push up and pull down. Make sure there's no play in the shaft. If there isn't any, it should have very little, but none of like this. Because if you have that much play, there's a bad bearing in the back part of the shaft. Now on automatic, as well as some of the manuals, sometimes you'll have like little plates on the side that will leak. Still need to take care of them because one or two things, you know the oil is leaking out. If there's no oil in the tranny, it's going to overheat and cause big issues. And you don't want that. It's just going to cost you some money, especially like I said, on the automatic. Now the driveline, we talked a little bit about it in our previous video not long ago, but the driveline, what we want to do is, especially when you're driving, right? If you feel a vibration coming down like the middle of your truck, it's a good chance that a few things are going on. Your carrier bearing, the U-joints, or maybe if you had a U-joint replaced or a carrier bearing replaced not long ago and now you have this issue, they didn't phase the driveline correctly. That means instead of like this, it's more at an angle like so. And it needs to be like so, together, right? Like a sandwich, or at least in some of them, like a cross, right? You want it like this or like this. Not like, nothing like that, right? You don't want your driveline doing that. Cause a vibration or cause damage to your transmission as well as your differential. So those things you want to keep an eye on. When you do oil changes, I've said this before in preventive maintenance. If you go to, it doesn't matter, myself, a different shop, a truck shop, you want to go and ask them, hey, how does my transmission differential look? Did you have to top off fluid? How does it smell? Does it look, completely black? I want to know what's going on with it, right? Because if you don't know and they're not going to tell you and you burn up a differential, it's just going to cost you more money. So just ask those questions. Hey, what did the fluid look like? Was I low? Those things you should always ask. And it's all it's going to do is prevent you from having these major breakdowns and costing you more money down the road if we can catch the small one. Again, driveline, U-joints, now these days, they're pretty much self-packed. So all you're gonna do is push up and down to make sure if there's no movement. If there is, then you're gonna have to replace the U-joint. On some other units, they may have grease fitting. All they gotta do is just shoot grease in them bad boys to make sure they stay lubricated. If it's dry and it's a bearing, guys, it's gonna overheat, it's gonna come apart, driveline's gonna hit the ground, cost you money, tow, and even a driveline. All right, so those things you gotta pay attention to. That's pretty much about it when it comes to your transmission and your driveline. You wanna make sure there's, the phasing correctly, the carrier bearing, you don't have a lot of play, there's no cracking or misaligned. Those kind of things will cause issues. The transmission, make sure it's not leaking, and make sure when you do your oil changes that you're getting updates. If it's full, it's low, and so forth, so you know what to do in the future. And guys, everybody forgets it, but swap out the fluid every so often. Full synthetic, it'll last a while, and you should be good to go. All right, guys, so that was about the transmission and driveline, preventive maintenance, safety, so forth, right? Just remember, keep in mind, leaks, you wanna make sure you are staying on top of it. Driveline, make sure there's no wear and tear in the U-joints and carrier bearing. And then also follow up with your mechanics when you do those oil changes. Are the fluids low? Did you top off? And try to keep note when was the last time you had the fluid replaced. If you guys have any questions or any certainties about this video, leave a comment at the bottom. If you guys like what you saw today, pound that like button. And guys, subscribe. I want to get more content coming your way. That's all I want to do, save you money. Booyah. See you guys around at the next video.